Hi everybody, it's me, Moody Boo, the Fragrant Nomad. Anyway, you picked the next review as being two of my Initios, Narcotic Delight and Blessed Baraka. So that's the review I'm doing today. And we'll start with Blessed Baraka. So Initio's Blessed Baraka, I think I got this one on a discount website, maybe FragranceNet or something like that. Or maybe perfumecanada.com. Is that what it's called? Anyway, one of those sites I got Blessed Baraka because Initio and those discount websites, most of them sell out pretty quickly. And so your choices are limited, but I saw this one sitting there for a huge discount. I can't even remember what I paid for it. It was like half retail though, at least. And I blind bought it. I like the way the notes sounded on Fragrantica and on Initio's website. And I'll tell you what's in it. Fragrantica has added amber, but Initio's website just says sandalwood, musk, vanilla, and white flowers as the main notes. And so when I sprayed it though, I'm like, have I gone nose crazy? Am I olfactorily psychotic all of a sudden? Having nasal hallucinations? Because I didn't get those notes. And I'm going to spray it again because I've got it. I've had it on all day. Going to do this review. So, yep. First thing I get is tonka and cinnamon. And they're nowhere on there. And I was like, what is wrong with me? Every time I've worn this, I smell tonka and cinnamon, especially at the beginning. But the cinnamon lightens up towards the dry down. The tonka does not. I do get the sandalwood, the vanilla. I do get some of this creamy kind of white flower in the background. But it's mostly a tonka perfume for me. That starts off spicy and dries down a little bit woody floral. A little bit more earthy. Not super sweet, just enough to keep it interesting for me. Because most perfumes I prefer to have some sweetness in them. Not all, but most. So I'm like, okay, I'm crazy now. I'm absolutely crazy. I get some of that amber accord in there. There's a hint of pencil shaving kind of a vibe to it, but just enough that gives it this warmth, a little bit of sparkle to it. But it is cinnamon and tonka to me, especially at the top. So and that's what led me to Initio's website thinking, oh, Fragrantica is crazy again. They're just stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. And I looked, and like I said, they had added amber, but otherwise their note pyramid was accurate according to Initio. So when you look at these websites, you'll notice that it'll have notes. And then it'll have ingredients so that you can peruse the ingredients to make sure there's nothing in there that you might be allergic to, etc. A lot of ethyl this and alcohol that and all this stuff that, you know, doesn't really interest me. But on a whim, I went on there because I was like, there is more to this than those 4 notes that Initio has listed. Sandalwood, musk, vanilla, and white flowers. And I went on there. One of the first things listed, and usually when you look at an ingredient list, whatever there's the most of is at the top, trickling down into things that there's less amount of in the perfume. One of the first things is cormorant, tonka. So I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy in that regard. Go down the list just slightly. 3 different aldehydes for cinnamon. I'm like, okay. Now I know that I know something. And I love this, but you never hear anybody talk about it. And I wonder if it doesn't have something to do with the note list that's advertised on their website and on Fragrantica, because, you know, that sounds kind of meh, Heard it, been there, done that, sniffed that. But this one is different. It's a beautiful tonka perfume. And you know, Initio, same bottles they always have. They're all basically the same. They might have a little bit of color in there. This one has a little bit of red. Most of them are black bottles, white bottles. I think they've got some other colored ones now. But mostly black and white. Or is this purple? This is dark purple, I guess. It's not really black. It looks black, but it isn't. And the sprayers are good. They're good. Nice mist. No droplets that I dislike. So that's great. Yep, tastes like a perfume. Whew. Anyway, so like I said, okay, I'll get back to the sniff. I wanted to get the bottle out there. Usually I put that at the beginning of the video, but this one I forgot. So when I first spray it, cinnamon tonka. There's like 2 stages of this one, in my opinion. There's the top spicy tonka, and then there's the dry down that just is a little warmer, a little earthier, a little sharper than the top. And that's about it for the scent. I mean, it really, for me, it's very simple, but it's beautiful. It's a bit dry. There's a hint of powder in there, but there's enough moisture from, I think, the white flowers and maybe the vanilla, or is it the sandalwood? Something is creamy in there. And so that kind of counterbalances that powderiness that makes it not too powdery, not too creamy. I think you could wear this mostly in cooler temps. I don't know if this is one I would reach for in hotter temperatures. It's a bit denser, you know, than the summer frags and the warmer temperature frags I like to wear. I like cocktails. I like those tropical cocktail kind of perfumes in the summer. I love citruses. I love a good aquatic if it's done right. And then there's some florals that I really appreciate, and some tropical like coconut and plumeria, because they all remind me of Hawaii, of course. So so I don't really reach for tonka in or sandalwood in the summer necessarily. So I would definitely say cooler temps. So the performance is good. It's very good. It's an Initio. Usually theirs are pretty good. It radiates about a little past arm's length with 2 to 3 sprays that first hour, but then it comes to about arm's length and maybe to elbow's length that last hour or 2 before it's gone, but it mostly stays at arm's length. It's a pretty good perfume as far as performance goes. I haven't noticed a sillage. But again, I'll say I don't really like shedding my scent. I like it to stay with me, so I'm not big into sillage. As far as lengthwise, longevity, every bit of 8 hours I get out of this. Sometimes a little more if I give it an extra spray, but at least 8 hours. The price, if you get it on a discount website, you can pay mid-range, but Initio is more on the expensive side, more over $200 most of the time for their retail bottles. So I'm kind of glad this hasn't been an explosion, you know, like some of the other Initios, because you can find it on discount websites. So that is good for me and good for you. And I have bought so many perfumes from Fragrantica that I've tested and blind bought, and they've always sent me legit stuff. So I never worry about buying from them. Or fragrancecanada.com, is that it? Or is it perfumecanada.com? They're another one that I've never had a problem with as well. Oh man, it's still holding on to that cinnamon tonka aroma, and I'm really loving that now. So I think it's very unisex. I think you could wear this to formal occasions. But it's not really a formal perfume, but you could get away with it because it's dense enough, it's interesting enough, it's individual enough without being too niche. It's not a beast mode perfume, so it'd be good for a formal winter, I would think, event. I don't really wear tonka during the day. It's more for nighttime wear, evening and nighttime wear for myself personally. But you wear what you want when you want. So I think this would be perfect for festivities with friends and family. It's not really beast mode enough to go out clubbing with, or big huge crowds competing with other people's signature scents. I think if you blasted like 4 or 5 sprays, it might be, but I limit mine. Usually 3 is the max that I do, because it serves its purpose for my life with 3 sprays. But I don't really go out in big crowds. I don't like big crowds. So there is that. All right, let's move on to Narcotic Delight. Now again, I went off of Fragrantica, but I blind bought this one because cherry. Mic drop. Full stop. End of the equation. Cherry. I'm so crazy about the right cherry in a perfume. And I knew Initio would do it right. So I felt very safe about blind buying it off a Lucky Scent. And I paid full retail. And I'm glad I did, though, because I bought it as soon as I saw it. And then it sold out, I think, at least once since then. This is beautiful. I'm going to tell you the notes, and then I'm going to tell you what I get. I didn't look at Initio's ingredients list on this one, so I don't know if I'm accurate or if it's just an accord that's happening here. First blast, I get mango. I get straight, sweet, juicy, ripe, perfect mango. That's what I get. And I'm sure it's just an accord, because the notes listed on Fragrantica are cherry, pink pepper, black pepper, cognac, hedione, am I saying that right? Hedione, tobacco, and vanilla. But I get mango at the very beginning. To me, this never gets real boozy. There is some booziness to it. You definitely get like a mango cocktail kind of a vibe at the very beginning. And this one has some dynamic to it. So you get that cherry after a little bit. Once that mango, and the mango, what I am interpreting as mango, goes away within 20-30 minutes. And that's when you start getting this more boozy cherry kind of a vibe. Not really a cherry cocktail. It's not that sweet, not like grenadine or something like that. But it's definitely cherry, and you get that dry, boozy cognac kind of shadow behind the cherry. As far as the black pepper, I don't really get black pepper. Now pink pepper, there's a hint of floral in there, maybe a hint of a little bit of rosiness in there that I'm interpreting I'm getting from the pink pepper. And the hedione, you do get a touch of green, a hint of floral in there, like I said, that, you know, the pink pepper and I think the hedione kind of combine and give you just a whisper of floral in there. And when it dries down, that's when you get a bit of the tobacco. It's like this mango cherry. Well, the mango is pretty much gone, but I still think about it when I wear this perfume. Kind of mellows out a little bit, that cherry does. And here's the weird thing though, because when it dries down, it changes drastically for me. Like I said, it starts off this kind of mango cocktail kind of vibe, and then it dries down, the cherry comes in there a bit, and the mango accord kind of settles down, and you recognize that it's cherry. It's not a heavy sweet cherry, it's not a sour cherry. It's almost a true natural cherry, as opposed to a cherry candy or liquor or something like that. But I don't know where I'm getting this, but once it really dries down, maybe it's the tobacco, maybe it is some of that hedione with the greenness coming out. But I get cherries, eating fresh, like ripe Bing cherries in a forest right after a rain. That's kind of what I get. I definitely get this forest vibe though from it, this evergreen, not really pine, but more that evergreen kind of an aroma that you get after a rain when you're in the forest. There's just this aroma that comes out, and I'm not sure what all it's from. Might be a green tobacco, you know, the tobacco isn't smokable yet, it's just been plucked or something mixed with the hedione. Maybe that's where I'm getting it, but I love it from top to bottom. I love mango, I love cherry, I love foresty kind of aromas, especially when they've got some sweetness in there to give it some interest and some dimension. And this one gives me that at the dry down. It really changes quite a bit from top to bottom. There's not really a middle note or a middle stage, except from that mango cordial or mango cocktail when it starts morphing into the cherry more from the mango. Maybe that would be considered the mid, but I just kind of consider that all the top. And then once the forest floor and the evergreen comes into play to add to those other top notes, that's when it really, whew. And this one lasts for me a long time. This one lasts easily 3 sprays, it's like 10-12 hours for me personally. It really lasts. And it doesn't project beast mode either. So you could probably overspray this if you went too far, but it never becomes a nose rocket or anything. I've sprayed it like 4 or 5 times just to kind of see what would happen, because I was really interested in where that mango was coming from. And it never got, you know, cloying or pungent or anything like that. So this one, I absolutely think you could wear clubbing. You'd have to overspray it a little bit because it doesn't project as much as it makes an impression. So I would probably overspray a little bit if I was going to be in a big crowd competing with signature scents. This would be great for family festivities and friends. It would be, I think you could actually, with just a spray or two, wear this during the day. There's nothing offensive to it. It's fruity and foresty, so there's not really anything that's too much. It's not too sweet, it's not too powdery, it's not too moist, it's not too strong. So it's a good versatile fragrance from Initio. I think you could also wear this year round. Well, I've been wearing the shiznit out of it, and it's winter still, and having no issues at all. It's lovely. And I will be wearing this in the summertime in the heat too, because I really want to see what happens with that mango cherry aspect of it and see where it goes in the heat. It leaves an impression on me. This is one of my favorite Initios behind Rehab and I think Blessed Baraka. Those 3 are probably my favorite 3 Initios right now, but my mind changes. It's usually the last one I wore is my favorite. So this one is expensive because it's fresh off the assembly line, and I don't think Initio, I think this is their latest release. I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's just been in the past few months it was released. So you can't really find it at discount websites yet. You can only really find it like Lucky Scent. That's where I got mine, was Lucky Scent. So it's spendy, you know, and I don't know if this is going to be one that will ever make it to a discount website because it is so good. I have a feeling it's going to sell out enough it'll stay retail for quite some time. Great stuff. I think this is totally unisex, but because of that fruity mango cherry aspect, I think some masculine personalities are going to find it a bit feminine for them. But just wait till that dry down. Dry down changes everything for me. Right, I think I covered everything. I'm not sure, but I think I have. All right. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you for being here. I'll be back soon with another review. I think my next video, it might be a review of a couple of perfumes that you guys pick off the next poll, or I might do my top 5 Tonkas. I haven't quite decided yet, but I got a little bit of time, and I'm going to be posting some new polls up on my community page, so please vote. It helps me so much, and I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. So, and if you haven't, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring the bell and comment if you want. If you don't, it's all good. I still love you. and use your own